So, how exactly do we make an if statement? Well, first off, let me just make a variable just so I, have something to work with here. I'm just going to say var x equals 10. Why? Because 10 is the Roman numeral, it's x, whatever. Yeah. So, I'm just going to make an if statement. So, if, see, the text is already read here, and it's going to ask me something. So, if something, then something will happen. So, if var x equals 10, then I'm just going to put a colon. Those two little dots. Now when I hit enter, it indents it. That indentation is important. It's telling me that whatever is on this indent will happen inside this if statement. So think of it like this. This is a Russian nesting doll. That's the big part. That's a smaller part inside of it. And yes, we could have an if statement inside an if statement inside an if statement and keep making smaller and smaller dolls and more indents along this screen. For this case of the scenario, we're only going to just go through one indent. And I'll just print, we'll just print stopped on if statement part 1. There we go. Now that's easy enough to understand. We're stopping at the if statement part 1. So now, if I were to execute this, oops, what did I do? What'd I do? You want var equals, oh, you want a double equals, don't you? Fine, double equals. Double equals, there we go. Execute. Yep, it wanted a double equals. So double equals is saying matching exactly is what that means. So var x, if var x equals 10, when you're using logic like if, you generally want to have a double equals. So now it says it stopped on the next one, because of course it's true. Now of course we could have an else if here. Else if. Now of course, that's how it would be normally written in any other language, but Python has ELIF. It shortens the word else. So else if, and we can make another variable here, so if var x is less than or equal to 10, we'll print, stopped on part 2. So now, before I click execute, I want you to think about what, in theory, would happen here. So we know that var x is 10, and if it's equal to 10, it'll print this. Else if we're less than or equal to 10, it'll print this. So in theory, if we were to work this out, it will print this, and then also print this. So take your bets. Do you think that's what's going to happen when I click execute? Okay, now all bets are off. I hope I gave you enough time to make your bet. It stopped on part 1. So, here's the thing about if statements. It will only go till the first correct answer. It doesn't matter if var x is also less than or equal to 10, because it is. It found the first correct answer, and now it just skipped the rest of it. It's going on to line, 8. Now, it went, nope, we're done, it's over. So, how you organize things will matter then, because if, we're less than 10, and then versus less than equal to, so now we know, it should now in theory, because it's 10, it's not less than 10, it should now skip part that and then go to that part. So let's execute it and we'll find out. Running, it stopped on part 2. See? It did. Because I made it equal to 10, but now this one's less than 10. So it skipped that answer, it was false, and then went else if, and it went, there we go, to that. And it found a correct answer. Now, we can keep doing more else ifs all we want. Elif, var x is greater than 10, or, greater than 5, or whatever. It doesn't matter. once again, same sort of situation. Print, stopped on 3. It'll go, it's equal to 10, so it's going, it's less than 10? No. Is it equal to 10? Yes. It won't ever get to part 5. It won't ever get to that, even though it is, in fact, greater than 5, because it's going to stop on part 2. Oh, you're wanting a less than... Oh, that's why I didn't put the colon in there. Typos. Typos will kill you. And yep, it stopped on part 2. It never got to greater than 5, even though it is in fact greater than 5, because this sentence right here wound up being correct. So, that's how if statements generally work. There are 3 parts to an if. There are 3 possible variables to an if statement. There's if, there's elif, and there's else. So if is looking for a specific condition. We're looking for a specific condition. Helps when I know how to spell. Else if is looking for a different specific condition. Because we're doing the if there. And there's the if. There's the if. It's looking for a specific condition. Else is looking for everything else. So, if this is not it, or this is not it, then everything else will do that. So if I were to do that again, so if I were to do var y equals 20, and now I'm going to say if var y equals 10, I'll print, stopped on 1. Why not? We'll do that. Else. And you notice I don't have to type in an equation there because it's not looking for any sort of specific equation. It's just all other answers that are not that. We'll print all other answers. Now when I execute this, else... Oh, that's why, because I forgot the colon again. Yep, your logic must have a colon at the end of it. Good thing I keep making the exact same mistake so I can keep typing it in multiple times and reminding everyone. So look, all other answers. Because was it that? Nope, then we're going to print that. I can also do a, else. I can do a elif, actually. Elif var y equals 30. And I'll put, copy, print, stopped on 2. Obviously, it's not going to do that because it's not 10, it's not 20. I mean, it's not 10, it's not 30. So once again, it is all other answers. However, if I were to make this a 20, so now it'll stop, it won't go to the else. And of course, it now stopped on 2. So we have if, specific condition, else if, specific condition, else, which is everything else. And that's how an if statement works. It's going to ask you a question. If the question is correct, it'll do the thing and then stop the rest of the statement. It'll skip over the rest of it. And you can set it for specific conditions, secondary specific conditions, and you can really make more else ifs. You can keep doing, you can keep doing elif, elif. You can keep making 50 bajillion elifs if you really want to. So you can keep searching for multiple different types of conditions. Or you can just make one for everything else. Which generally I recommend for any sort of scenario involving some sort of error message where, oh, you didn't type in anything that was correct. Let's do that again,